to the Shankly Sessions, folks, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week on the Upper Tier podcast. If you could head out to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button, and of course, drop a like on the video. Really, really important to us as it helps us grow, get noticed, break the YouTube algorithm, if you will, all that kind of good stuff. The one thing we learned as Liverpool fans is we probably can't dwell on a single result, or we can't just sit around and lick our wounds, and because more games roll around. And tonight we have a Crystal Palace preview for you. Big game coming on Saturday night, 7:45 from Selhurst Park on Sky Sports. Unusual time, a Saturday evening game, most unusual. So I'm hoping this will give the boys an opportunity to bounce back and answer a few questions really that weren't really answered on Tuesday. And the importance of this game now has probably been magnified by the result on Tuesday. In truth, I'd love to come on and say that I think the lads can get back into it in a couple of weeks' time in the Bernabeu, that they have the mental capability of doing it, that we've seen them doing it against Barcelona at Anfield, and some of the great games down through the years where they've had to make comebacks and stuff like that, and some of the games where they make comebacks to get top four, that's dreaded season with no defenders and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think this team has that level of mentality this season to walk into the Bernabeu, puff their chest out, match up to Madrid man for man, and score 3 goals and not give a goal away. And I think ultimately Madrid will score 1, if not 2 on the night, maybe more. And we think the 5-2 is bad. It could get way worse than that potentially if we don't fix up very quick. But I don't sincerely think we have a chance of getting into the next round of the Champions League. It would take quite the miracle for that to happen, which means it's really, really important now that we focus solely week on week, game on game, and getting into that top 4, which currently is out of our hands. So we're going to need a favour from other teams to drop away. So this is what we're faced with. So our next challenger, if you like, our next cup final is Crystal Palace on Saturday night at Selhurst Park. Ian's in the comments. How are you, Ian? Good to see you there, man. All good, pal. Just doing a quick preview here for the Crystal Palace game on Saturday night. We will be back on at 9:30 later as well for Thursday Tier Talk, the usual show that myself and Dazzler do. Half an hour later than usual, folks. Don't forget that. So if your clocks are set for 9 to 10, it'll be 9:30 to 10:30. Darren has a few things to do, so slightly later tonight. Where's everyone hidden? No, they're not hidden. This is a reasonable show in. This is the Liverpool one, so not a massive amount of people drop in here. It's the other shows they tend to drop in for. So let's get on with this preview. Vieira versus Klopp. Safe to say, we've had some good memories in Selhurst Park. We've had some terrible memories in Selhurst Park. And would probably be one of the last grounds we'd want to go to after the humiliation of Tuesday night, when we thought we were turning a corner and we realised that corner was actually a roundabout. We probably entered into a false sense of security, beating Everton with a clean sheet and beating Newcastle with a clean sheet. But the reality is, and we said it on a couple of shows, that if we gave Madrid the chances that we gave Newcastle, they would punish us. And I've never seen such a capitulation in a Liverpool side. The feelings I had on Tuesday night after the game were the feelings I had after the Kiev final, were the feelings I had last June after the final, were the feelings I had in that Aston Villa game. It's just that sunken feeling. And you quite don't really understand how it happened. You don't understand how for 20 minutes we can be so strong mentally and physically, and could have scored three, could have scored four. Then Vinicius pops up, Vinicius Jr., the bane of our Liverpool lives, with an unbelievable goal that realistically, if defenders and DMs are on that game, that goal, that shot doesn't get away. Fabinho should have been much tighter. Joe should have been much tighter, and he should have never had the opportunity to get that away. Then we cough up a goal, Allison, and then from that goal, really, once they got to 2-2, they're like a shark that smells that sort of bait, isn't it? That chum in the water, that blood in the water, and they get the bit between their teeth. They outrun you, they outpass you, they outfight you. They make you look ordinary. They make world-class players look like schoolboy level. And they pick you apart. And as Jurgen Klopp said in the press conference, he says they can score from anywhere. Militao, Benzema, Vinicius. Goals can come from anywhere. Kroos, Modric, who knows? So it's those kind of things, that kind of mental soft underbelly that we've developed this season. It's a kind of a pitiful kind of, how would I describe it? A feeling sorry for yourself at times when things go wrong, instead of trying to pull it together. And I've mentioned it a number of times on these podcasts. A lot of it stems from the lack of leadership on the pitch, the lack of captaincy. And when I say the lack of captaincy, I don't just mean Jordan Henderson. I mean, we have a number of international players on that pitch, high-level international players on that pitch, that don't seem to feel anymore that their job is to lead the people around them. And it's no secret who I'm talking about here. Obviously, Jordan is one of them. Van Dijk is one of them. You know, there's a number of players there. Mo Salah, you know, who should be encouraging people, who should be working hard, you know, on one side. And look, it's no surprise the side that a lot of the goals come from tends to be the side where people don't feel it's their job to work hard. And it's creating this kind of imbalance in the team. When you look at Robbo's side, Robbo's such a hard worker up and down the line between defending and attacking and everything. But you can see Núñez dropping in and putting in the hard yards and the hard graft on that side in order to cover and help and protect his fullback. And then on that side as well, you've got Stefan, who works incredibly hard as well, both ways. But then on the other side, you've got Trent, who obviously requires cover because of what we want him to do. You've got Jordan, who at times feels it's his job to fill in, or Joe come across, or Joel. But sometimes they switch off and they don't do it. And sometimes Jordan gets caught up in the forward play and the attacking play. So he's not in a position to do that. And his legs then from that point don't allow him to do it. And then you've got Mo Salah, who is either being coached this way or is being told this way or tactically this way, that it's not his job to track back and help cover and break up play for his fullback. So it creates a kind of an imbalance in there. And it's no surprise where a lot of the goals come from. Not necessarily just talking about the other night, but I mean in general. So I think when we look at this Palace game, let's do a little bit of a preview on it. Obviously, we're walking into this game on Saturday night, the walking dead, the wounded, with our heads in our hands, not only from the poor performance, the capitulation, the embarrassment. And it's no surprise that pundits and Liverpool ex-players who are pundits connected to the team are really going in hard now and asking the real hard questions of this team. So it's very clear now, and has been for a while, that this team is not a lack of form. It's not a lack of legs. It's not a lack of energy. It's not a lack of anything. It's just this team. Its time has come. And because we didn't do what we should have done in the transfer market over the last 5, 6 windows, if you like, now it comes a time where probably 6, maybe 7 of these players are just simply not good enough and need to be moved on and need to be replaced. And that's going to be a real difficulty in the summer as well. Because, one, I don't think we'll have the funds to replace at the level we need to get back to where we want to get to. And two, I'm not too sure whether FSG has the appetite to do that. And then the news breaking before the match the other night that they're not looking to sell, they're looking for investment. Changes the whole dynamic and thought process. And people and fans feel now they've been lied to. They've been sold a story. And it's very, very frustrating. And it must be very frustrating for people within the club. It must be very, very frustrating for players. And it's a difficult one. So, Crystal Palace, as you know, you've seen what happened with us. We beat Newcastle, and then, of course, we go into the Real Madrid game and we lose 5-2, 5 unanswered goals. Absolute collapse and capitulation by the team. Palace drew 1-1 against Brentford. Very unlucky as well. Got sort of robbed off them. But I think the story of Palace's season has been one of that, where they have played reasonable football and probably are due more than what they have, but haven't been able to see things through and haven't been able to convert performances into points. And that would be a fair assessment of them. They're now winless in 8 consecutive matches since the turn of the year. Palace are not quite sleepwalking towards danger, but they're certainly looking over their shoulder at 12th. And we mentioned the other day, the bottom half of the table is separated by only 10 points. And we're going to have one hell of a relegation battle ahead of us over the next few months. Not less a top 4 battle and a title race and all the rest that goes with it. But that bottom half of the table is really intriguing. And we'll be doing a Premier League preview later on Thursday Tier Talk. And a lot of those fixtures are falling in relation to that relegation battle this season or this weekend. So there's a couple of tasty 6-pointers in there potentially. 4 draws from their last 5 games, though, would suggest there's a kind of a resilience to them. But again, they probably need to start picking up a few wins and convert a few of those draws into wins, because it is very, very tight down there, and like 2 losses and 2 wins for other teams, and all of a sudden you're bank slapping the middle of it. So really, really concerning. A win for Jurgen Klopp means we could climb into 6th should results go our way elsewhere. It's always the way, Reds, isn't it? Should results go our way elsewhere. Always the way. Current form at the moment, Crystal Palace, 2 losses and 4 draws has been their previous 6. For Liverpool, it's been 3 losses, a draw, and a win. Their league form. There should be 2 wins, sorry. 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. Team news. Let's start with Crystal Palace. And we know that this game's going to be physical. We know this game's going to be a battle. We know that Crystal Palace, when at home with that crowd behind them, can play some really nice football, especially on the counter-attack against Liverpool, which we have to be aware of, because we're playing a high line with a high press, without a press, without energy, without legs, without confidence. And our coach and manager don't seem to think that should change at the moment, based on all the factors and the analytical data that we have in front of us. We continue to play 4-3-3, we continue to play a high line, and we continue to play a press game without any press. Team news: Crystal Palace, Tarek Mitchell is out. Wilfred Zaha, Sam Johnson, and Nathan Ferguson remain out. Wilfred obviously being a huge loss to them if he does not make the team, but at the moment are out. Joel Ward has a calf injury, but he will be assessed. And James Tompkins should return. He's out with a personal issue. He should be available for the game. For us, we know that Thiago Alcantara is out. Calvin Ramsey is out. Luis Diaz is out. Artur is out. And Big Ibu Kanate is out. They all will miss. Surely changes are ahead for this game in the starting 11, I would imagine. No less than in our defence. And probably potentially one or two other tweaks could happen as well. Crystal Palace's possible starting lineup. They're going to go in with Guaita, Klein, Anderson, Gahey, Mitchell, Olise, Decore, Hughes, Esse, AU, and Edward. Still a potent physical team. Esse will provide the danger. AU, we know, is a wily veteran at this stage and can get the job done. Edward, big and powerful, knows where the back of the net is. So we'll have to be really careful. And the boy Anderson they have in there, who made a show of us last time. And also ended up goading Nunes into the headbutt as far as I know. So we're going to have to be really, really careful there in another game. Our starting lineup. Let me know as well in the comments, of course, and in the chat what you think the starting lineup would be or what changes you would make. And also give us a scoreline prediction as well. Starting lineup, I think, is going to be Alisson in nets. I think he has to hold his place. I don't think he could take his place off him. Yeah, staying with Alisson. Trent, I think Joel Matip comes in to replace Gomez, take Joey G out of the firing line after two big performances and then a tough performance against Real Madrid. Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, and Keita. So he might take Stefan out. I wouldn't lay a lot of it on Stefan at all. I think Stefan's been excellent the last few games, but maybe he might just need a breather. You could always see him maybe second half or something like that. And then up front, I think you'll go with Salah, Nunes, and Jota. I think the steel and the guile and the intensity and the shithousery, dare I say, of Jota and Nunes, I think could reap reward. So I think that's what he will go with. I think Cody will get some time out. Probably needs a break. I think Joe Gomez probably needs a break. And I think he'll probably stick with Henderson, Fabinho, and Keita. Keita will bring the energy in the midfield that lacks there. Jordan started off very energetic the other night against Real Madrid, but faded terribly. And Fabinho, although he started out decent in the game, faded away as well, just like he hit a wall. So that's who I think he'll go with. That'll be your potential possible starting lineup. Again, let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you would change, what you think, and all that kind of thing. Just shooting the breeze here, really. Had a quick look at the betting. Crystal Palace are 15-4. The draws 11-4, and Liverpool are 4-6. My prediction is for a 2-1 Liverpool game, but going to be very tight. And this game will be decided on a key moment. I think. I don't think this is a tough game to be going into. Any game would be a tough game to go into after Tuesday night, but this is especially a tough game because this is a physical team. They know how to get at you. They know how to break quickly. They have pace. They have speed. They have power. They've all those things that we're kind of lacking in our lack of belief and confidence at the moment. Not saying that we don't have it. What I'm saying at the moment is we're finding it very difficult to show it. And this is a game where we have to show up and we have to win and lay down a marker. And maybe that puts the pressure on Tottenham, who are playing Chelsea on Sunday. So it's really, really important that we get the 3 points of Selhurst Park, move up the table into sixth and continue the pressure. But that's what's needed at the moment. Had a look at a bet there, 28-1. It's a nice little combination bet, and it's Nunes to score first, Darwin. Took his goal lovely the other night as well. It's so sickening how that game turned out. And 2-1 to Liverpool will reap you 28-1. So a fiver will give you, whatever it is, a ton 20, a ton 40, whatever it is. Nice tidy little bet there. 28-1. Darwin Núñez to score first and Liverpool to win 2-1. A very, very tight game I'm expecting. A very, very physical game I'm expecting. And I think we'll really have to stretch the play, control the ball down the flanks, not get too caught up in the midfield. They will pull us apart in midfield if we're not careful. They're very, very strong in that area. But they can be got at. They do leak goals. If there was ever a time we need our players to stand up, now is that time. Any loss from now in the next couple of weeks is going to really hamper our chances of a top four, and obviously give the positive vibes to the teams above us. But the opportunity to go into sixth if results go our way, that is the carrot being dangled in front of us. We have to park Real Madrid now for the moment. Real Madrid can't be on our minds at the minute. We have to think now about top four and push the second leg of that Real Madrid into the background and stop feeling sorry for ourselves and start playing like the players that they know they can, and see can we revert back into some of our form that we've seen against Newcastle and we've seen against Everton. But essentially, play the game on our terms, control the ball, don't cough it up so easy. Cherish the possession, don't give it away too handy. Battle for every ball, support each other, and really give it a go. I want to see 4 or 5 captains out on that pitch on Saturday night. I want to see Van Dijk marshalling his back line, not looking around, pointing fingers, looking absolutely dumbfucked as to what happened. I want to see that Van Dijk, that leader that coaches and talks to his back four all the time. That's what I want to see. I want to see Jordan Henderson talking to his players, organising them, seeing the danger, breaking it up. I want to see Fabinho being that man that I know he can be. I want to see Mo Salah move and glide across that pitch like he can, dribbling, going by players, creating chances. I want to see Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota create that chaos and shithousery that we know we can, to confuse defences into coughing up opportunities, opening up spaces and allowing us to score goals. That's what I want to see this team do on Saturday night. That's what it needs to do. That's what it owes us. We were embarrassed on Tuesday. Let's not be embarrassed again. Let's see this season out now and try and get back into that top four. Until next time, folks, I'm Niall. This is the Shankly Sessions. You will never walk alone. I will catch you again at 9:30 tonight on Thursday Tier Talk, Premier League preview, Carabao Cup final preview, the fallout from the Champions League, the latest news headlines, and of course, we will be talking about Beat the Bookie, where our picks and tips come true. I'll finish out with some of Ian's comments. Morris should be on the chat any moment now. He's probably busy till later, and Ian just messaged over our friend from GP Productions. He'll be on later, I'd say, Ian. I'll catch you all at 9:30. See you on the flip side. As always, Reds, you will never walk alone. You always have our support. Now let's demonstrate that we are still that team if we need to get things done.